If you want to get better at receiving passes, then this video is exactly for you. Hello, this is Mason talking in the background because his mic decided to not work on the day of recording, which was very annoying and frustrating, but we will make this work either way. Okay, as you're seeing from me here, I am taking passes off of the passer here. I want you to notice one very important thing about my intent behind what I'm doing with these passes, both on my backhand and my forehand. And that is, instead of just exclusively using my hands, I am actually using my feet in order to accept the pass or receive the pass. If we were to slow this down appropriately, you'll notice areas where feet shift at the exact same time that I pick up the puck. And to give you a little secret, this is exactly the same thing that the NHLers do. I'm going to go over 3 mechanics that you can use that help with receiving passes, whether you're standing still or you're moving. The first distinction we want to get rid of is that you have to use your hands to stop the puck, or you have to position the stick in a certain way to stop the puck. The truth of the matter is, while you do need the stick in a position aligned and coordinated with receiving the puck, if you have your footwork set up optimally, you can receive any pass in any position on your stick, including, but not limited to, maybe you get the puck in your feet or slightly ahead of you or slightly behind you. Either way, your footwork allows you to adjust appropriately and accordingly so that you can collect any pass in any position. One of the first mechanics that's actually easy for a lot of beginners to get into is the corkscrew. Not just because that's the most foundational of the foundational mechanics, but because this legitimately helps you out with receiving your passes. You'll notice with the corkscrew that there's a sculling motion from side to side or a rotational motion from side to side as you would either stick handle, say if you're using the puck with you, or even if you don't have the puck on your stick, the side-to-side motion is still there. Well, you actually want to synchronize one of those side-to-side motions as soon as you pick up the puck. But you don't want to shift towards the puck, and this is something we'll dive deeper into with the other mechanics that are listed. You actually want to shift your weight or twist away in the direction of where the puck's going in order for you to receive the pass a lot easier and not have it bounce off your stick just because you're using a carbon fiber twig instead of something that maybe should be made out of wood and made passes so much easier to accept and whatnot. But it's like, listen guys, I hate to say it for all you traditionalists out there, we are past the day and age where we can use wood sticks to get away, or any past technology that may or may not have made the game better that basically allows you to get away with shitty mechanics. And I'm not afraid to say that. The truth of the matter is the players that accept passes today and are the best at receiving passes have been able to do it with either a wood stick or a carbon fiber stick that's made today. Case in point, Sidney Crosby, using both the same methods that he used to receive passes when he was using his wood stick, and now when he's using carbon fiber for the past longer than he's been playing at this point. But I don't want to argue about the specific semantics around that, because I'd be actually playing into what these traditionalists are doing with arguing about the past, so I'm just going to stop that for the time being. What I like about the corkscrew is that you can receive the pass very easily within it. Obviously the coordination is different because you're not stick handling, but you're having to time it at the specific time that the puck touches your stick. But you really want to think of it as exactly the same thing as if you're stick handling the puck with it or about to take a shot out of a corkscrew. When we say that this is the most foundational of all the foundational mechanics, not only does it connect the skating mechanics together, it will also connect things like shooting. It will also connect things like your stick handling vectors, which means how far you bring the puck from side to side. But it also connects things like shooting and receiving passes. So once again, as you receive the pass, you want to actually corkscrew away in the direction of where the puck's going, not towards where the puck is. You can actually think of this, honestly, very, very similarly to Wayne Gretzky's quote about going to where the puck is going, not where the puck it currently is. That applies to your movement. That applies to how you receive passes. Like literally, this is the same exact language here, where in order to better receive the passes, move your body in the direction of where the puck is going in order to have it be a softer picking up of the puck. That way, and when it's softer, but when you have a softer catch of the puck, when you have a softer pass reception, you're able to make your next play a lot easier because when it's soft, you're in balance. I would say most of the time. Maybe that's not a golden rule. I have to think about that a bit more. But there's a reason that when guys like Austin Matthews and Sidney Crosby receive passes that maybe are awkward, they're still able to like do the Austin Matthews soft catch and release, or in Crosby's case, he's able to make a next one-touch play being in an awkward 10-2 position. And that's not limited to those two players as well. Like, it applies to any type of pass reception scenario, and those are two guys that are really good at it. The corkscrew is the entry point to it, of course. And you'll see examples of me doing it stationary and moving, where the motion of receiving the puck is still the same. I cannot stress enough that the timing of it is super important, but the corkscrew motion is still present when you're receiving the passes. The next one we'll go over is the shuffle. And this is one where I had to think a lot about including an outside edge mechanic for receiving passes. And I do think this is necessary because in general, more ability has never been shown to be a bad thing, but there's not really been a very good outside edge example for picking up passes. But I think the shuffle is one of the better ones to do that with. You can use it out of a cross under or crossover, however you define it. But I think shuffle allows you to collect the most awkward passes compared to a cross under. I'd have to do a little bit more testing on this. But basically, it's the same exact thing. You want to shuffle away in the direction of where the puck's going. And then I noticed that I was getting wide every time that I'd pick it up out of a shuffle. I don't know if that's always going to be necessary, but it is a nice movement option to have. I'm trying to ingrain that into myself, by the way, which is to always get wide after I go narrow. And you'll see that in a lot of the highlights, by the way, that is what these NHL players do, is after they get narrow, they get back to wide. That's just a natural habit that they have. But really, again, you want to time the shuffle at the exact moment that the puck comes to your stick. You don't want to be too early and you don't want to be too late. And you'll see it when it comes up with something like the next mechanic, by the way, which is the 10-2. Now, before I get into that, I want to preface that there are many other mechanics, I should say, to help you pick up the puck. And that's mostly a theme with all of this, is that you want to time your movements in order to better receive passes to be in the direction of where the puck's going. So if we did stutter, for example, you would stutter, like say the puck is coming from your left side hard, you wouldn't step onto your left foot in order to pick up the puck. No, you would actually, in order to softly catch the puck, you would step onto your right foot. And it's the same thing if you happen to accept it out of an anchor, or happen to accept it out of a soft drag, or name every other mechanic. I'm just naming corkscrew, shuffle, and 10-2 right here as the most simple mechanics to pick it up out of. 10-2 is actually a common one now that looking at it in more detail. Quinn Hughes, good example. Kaprizov, good example. Crosby, obviously good example. Cale Makar too. And I think the 10-2 allows you to see the most easily that it is your footwork that helps you to receive passes a lot better. And it also helps you to see the timing. And you have to distinctly open up your hips at the exact same time that the puck comes to you. Whether it's right on your forehand, whether it's slightly behind you, or whether it's in your feet and you're trying to kick it back up to yourself. This also does work, by the way, if you're standing still and you need to, which I was neatly surprised with. I do think it's easier to pull this off on your forehand side, but this 10-2 really makes backhand passes much easier to accept as well. All of this is a timing. All of it is a coordination play that goes on here. There's many ways to receive it back, like strictly backhand, but say it's coming to your backhand side, and I noticed this a lot with me, where I wouldn't receive it directly on my backhand. I'd receive it on my forehand, even though it'd be coming towards my backhand. But because I shift my body in the specific way, it wouldn't directly go to my backhand. It would still go to my forehand. It's not a bad thing. Obviously, you want the option to receive it on both ways. But that I noticed that more with the 10 and 2, more so than the other mechanics, that it was much easier to receive it forehand in any position, in any direction of where the puck was going to. Now, I think for beginners coming into pass reception, it is going to be very helpful to start it out stationary before doing it while you're moving. Moving is going to be more challenging, but it is going to be more game transferable. But if you can't even receive passes to begin with, well, you need to start somewhere. And so if it has to be stationary, then it has to be stationary. But instead of just doing passes where you're just standing upright and then maybe you stick handle once or twice to each side. It's not that I don't encourage stick handling. I just don't encourage unintentional stick handling without knowing what mechanics you're specifically doing. So if you have that unintentional stick handling, then that's not something I encourage. But if you know of your mechanics that you're doing while you're doing the stick handling, then by all means go ahead. And that means that you're accepting passes out of 10 and 2s, corkscrews, shuffles as a beginner, but you're using every other mechanic, particularly the skating mechanics, to receive passes. Now, I don't think it should be limited to receiving passes out of like a curl or a cane drag or a backhand punt or pull. Like, you can use other stick handling mechanics to receive passes, and that is a definite challenge. But again, for simplicity's sake and progression's sake, starting out with the specific mechanics while you're stationary and then progressing it to moving slowly is the way to go. And the best 3 mechanics to better receive passes so that you never miss passes again is the corkscrew, shuffle, and 10 and 2. I think there's a time and place also to intentionally put it into your feet. I think there's a time and place to intentionally have bad passes, provided you don't miss the passing pad that you're going to, and then you have to go collect the puck after the fact. Collecting passes in many positions intentionally, I would say, as long as you're getting somewhere in the realm of like 10 to 20 reps in each position, maybe for like 3 sets, if we're doing an exclusively pass reception workout, that would be pretty good. So that was all about pass reception, so that you never miss any type of pass ever again, whether they're fast passes or they're in your feet or they're behind you or slightly in front of you. These are the 3 most beginner-friendly pass reception hockey hacks that are out there. Remember, once again, use your footwork. Can't stress that enough. Footwork is everything with hockey. That is your 80-20, that's your 90-10, that's your 95-5. That's the most important thing that makes everything else easier or unnecessary. I cannot stress enough that everything is about footwork. Your connection with your footwork to your hands, your lower body to your upper body, your entire body as a whole. The physical makes the mental easier. Thanks for watching today's Hockey Hacks. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to share it with someone who you think could benefit from this. Also, check out the Standard School, which is the link below, which details out every standard from skating, shooting, stick handling, strength, speed, etc., and then player-specific standards like what McDavid can do, McKinnon, etc., giving you the direction you need for your hockey training. We also have A to G for hockey. On the A to G app, you can get half off your first month by clicking the link in the description. And if you would like to apply for one-on-one coaching with me directly, which would be the best alternative to seeing me in person, you can do that as well. If you would like to see me in person for hockey training, I currently work out of HKY House in Waterford, Michigan. And if you would like in-person gym training or shooting training, I have a place for that in Westland, Michigan. Thanks again for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions.